What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Batman's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans last night.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright, Flick, Fuck, Marry, Kill. I'm Jay.
And I'm Jackie.
Damn right, people. We got us a special episode this week. A special episode. I'm kind of and I told you before we started recording, Jackie, I'm kind of in a fanboy moment right now. I am joined by the one and only Jackie Kelly. Hey, I appreciate you coming on here.
I appreciate you having me.
Hey, this is a big deal for me. I am a big fan of Jackie, and I was, when me and you had reached out and I'd hit you up about possibly coming on here, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna ask. The worst thing you could say was like, fuck off.
No, I was excited to come on here when you gave me a little synopsis about what your podcast was all about. I was like, you know what? This dude's clever. This dude's funny. I was immediately on board when you told me about the concept.
Hey, we try. If we could just be funny around here, we take it. If I get funny, I take it. If I can make somebody laugh at the end of the day, yeah, that's a win for me.
Of course.
But Jackie is a independent horror actress.
Something like that.
Something. Hey, one of the things I want people to kind of know who Jackie is. And so I want you, this is kind of like your introduction to the Fright Flick fucked up family that we are, to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. The floor is yours. I'm going to drink on my gentleman and Jack while you roll with it.
Okay, sit back, relax, have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Jackie Kelly. I am primarily a horror actress and writer. I'm currently based in St. Louis, Missouri, but I grew up in the Chicagoland area. I started acting when I was about 12 years old, but back then I predominantly did theater for most of my formative years, and it wasn't until I went to film school that I started really getting heavily involved in independent film. And I've been pretty active in the scene for about a decade now, and I've racked up a decent amount of credits, and yeah, here I am. I'm still here doing it.
Damn right. Question. It's the big, theater compared to like, the horror acting type thing. I would think that that's a bigger challenge in my mind, because when I think of theater, I think you walk in on the stage in front of people and there's no like cut, roll it back, let's do that shit over again.
Yeah. There's a lot of different schools of thought on that, because in a lot of ways, theater is more challenging, because not only do you have to know all of your lines and there's no take two, and you have to know everyone else's lines so you can hear your cues. That's an element that makes it more challenging. But I actually think acting for film is more difficult in a lot of respects, just in that the believability of a performance it's harder to attain when the camera's right in your face, the idea of performing theater often is just bigger is better, right? And
Mhm.
in a film performance, a lot of times bigger is not better. A lot of times bigger is worse, you know? Subtlety is key a lot of times to a great film performance. And I think that's definitely a challenge to doing film for sure.
Yeah. Along kind of along those same lines though. What brought you or drew you to the horror side of the house?
So I had always, and I would say around like age 13 is when I developed a sincere interest in horror. But it wasn't just horror, it was more just like subversive cinema in general. Like I've always had a penchant for more like envelope pushing movies, more disturbing types of movies. And I decided that I wanted to make films actually after I saw Gummo when I was in my early teens. Because Gummo is my favorite film, and I'll always credit it as my favorite film because it's the movie that made me want to make movies. But alongside movies like Gummo, I always loved horror. Um, when I was 21, I met my now husband because he lives in the same city as me and he was making horror films. His name's Eric Stanzi, who directed In Memory of, among countless other films prior to having met me. And
Hold on one second right here, people.
that
In
one,
memory of,
that's my first feature film.
hey, we'll talk about that one in a little bit, but I just want to
Cool.
show off my collection. And I
But
honestly did not know that your husband directed that.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew you were married, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, he is the director of In Memory of and our more recent film that is coming out in like 2 weeks, Anxiety. Um, so yeah, we've been making films together for a long time. He also was the director of photography on Tennessee Gothic.
Oh shit.
So a lot of my films, Eric has had a major role in, whether
That's
he's directing
awesome.
it or
That's awesome.
DPing it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I always had this sincere interest in horror, and then once me and Eric got close, it just kind of, snowballed. And I've been working with him for years, and that, branched off into other filmmakers all over the country. And it's just, I guess what I've become known for is horror. So I don't do much of anything else. Even if it's not a straightforward horror movie, I feel like most of the stuff I'm in has a horror element to it
Mhm.
or some kind of like fucked up element to it,
Uh,
which I'm happy about. I don't. A lot of people think that isn't it a bummer being like typecast in the same like genre over and over again? And it's not. It's not a bummer because that's the genre. That's the type of film that I have always gravitated towards. So the idea of like being cast in romantic comedies is just like it's not something I want to do. So I'm happy to be where I am doing the horror stuff.
a Yeah, and I've watched it, and me and Jackie talked before we hit record here. Um, I came across you through Trevor Younger, a
Mhm.
movie called Dope. And well, it doesn't really classify as a movie, does it? Because it shows up as like a series, is what it.
Yeah. So Dope started out, it was supposed to be a series,
Yeah,
yeah, and we ended up shooting the pilot, just the pilot episode, and it never got past that, which is unfortunate because I
yeah,
really like Dope. But it's not so much a horror project.
yeah.
It's dark. I would say it's dark. There's definitely a layer of darkness to it, but and it's violent and it's craft. So all the stuff that I like in movies. Yeah.
Oh, same here, and that's how I came across you. You know,
Right.
first time I asked about you, who's that blonde chick that played in this movie, Dope? And once
Yeah.
I found out who you were, I just started looking for stuff to watch. And but yeah, that is, and like you said, I honestly, I'm glad you don't do rom com shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly never been offered to me. That's the thing is I've done so much horror now that like nobody like offers me anything else. I think people kind of just know now that I don't know if they know that I don't want to or if they just think I wouldn't be good in a movie like that, but either way I don't really care because I like doing the more subversive
Oh, yeah, on this side of the house, we definitely appreciate it because we like the horror fucked up type shit.
Mhm. Oh
And
yeah.
one of the things I've noticed, um, and the couple that I've watched, especially I will go to the in memory of real quick.
Mhm.
Uh, you, how am I going to say this the right way? She seems like a character in that one that's dealing with some serious shit.
Mhm.
You know, whether it be, I don't know, fear, you know, I feel sure there may be a big fancy popular word for it, but on this show, we are high school educated from South
Oh
Carolina
yeah.
and we just fucking send it. So, but how is there a certain way you prepare for those types of movies? What that gets you into that, like, in memory of, like, this chick had some baggage, you
Yeah, she is.
know? Yeah. And is there, how do you get to that? To like I think the other day I hit you up on Instagram where I commented on that movie. There's a part where you're driving down the road and you're just like crying, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like this, everything is just like in that moment of the movie, everything just kind of like coming to the surface and you're just, it's all coming out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to that?
Man, I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's why we like it on this show. We like
I,
that shit on this show.
I don't know. It's I'm not a method actor by any stretch of the word. I like to have fun on set.
Mhm.
So I'm not the kind of person that like has to stay in the headspace of a character all day. I feel like, especially over the years, I've gotten pretty good at like turning it on and then turning it off. But no, I do a lot of stuff like that. I cry a lot in
You can do
movies.
that on cue.
I mean, it's not like on cue, like, okay, now go, and I'm immediately crying, but I can do it pretty fast. It's just like one of those things. I don't know. It's just one of those. There's a lot of stuff as an actor that I don't think I'm good at, but that's one of those rare things that I'm like, I can cry. Like I know I can cry. And so, but it normally just comes from personal experience. Like if I
Yeah.
have to get ready for a scene, it's like, and it depends on where I'm at in my life, like what's currently going on. But you know, like a lot of times lately, I adopted a dog like 4 years ago, and he's the fucking greatest thing that's like ever happened. Not the greatest, but one of them. I love this dog so much,
Mhm.
more than I ever thought I could love an animal. And it sucks, but like when I have to get to that place for a scene, like the last few years, I just like I have to think about like something really horrible happening to my dog, you know? And like that's the nature of doing those kinds of scenes. It's like it kind of sucks sometimes because you have to think about like things that are unpleasant, right?
Worst thing
But
possible.
yeah, but it helps me to get to that point. But yeah, it's always evolving. Like, what is the thing that'll bring me to tears today? You know, I don't know. I don't like have like a I don't like a what's the word for it? A process or anything. I know people are like interested in the actor's process and I always feel like a hack when I get asked that because I'm like, I don't know. You just do it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Now I feel bad
Oh,
for
that's a
asking the
bad
damn
answer.
question. I
Sorry.
feel bad for asking the question, Jackie. Damn it. No, I'm just always curious because I see movies, you know, any movie, and when I see people start the crying thing, because, you know, I'm in my mind, I'm wondering, like, is it? I feel sure there's people out there that can just flip that switch.
Yeah.
And there's those
Yeah.
people out there that's like got to get to a dark place to like
Mhm.
pull that type of emotion up. You know, I'm not one
Yeah.
of those at
And
all.
I feel like I do have to get to a pretty dark place, but luckily I've gotten pretty good at turning it off really quickly. Like I can finish the scene and like I can immediately be joking around with the cast and crew. So it doesn't like consume me for the rest of the day or anything. Like I can get out of that pretty fast.
So the in memory of, was that your first full length?
Yeah, it was my first feature. I'd done like shorts prior to that, but that was my first feature. And I actually initially wasn't even going to play the lead in that.
Mhm.
I actually just came onto that as a co-writer.
Hmm.
And then we started writing this script, and we had this lead female that was around, I was like in my early 20s at the time. And I matched the age and the gender of the character, and my other co-writers, Eric Stanzi and Jason Chris, they knew like that I had acting experience, but I hadn't really like pushed myself as an actor because at that time I was trying much more so to be a writer. And then it just kind of organically happened where it just made the most sense for me to play that character because I was there. And then I knew the part because I had helped to write it. So
Oh yeah, nailed it, nailed it.
thank you.
Uh, quick question though, because I just heard you say my dude's name. How do you say his last name?
Chris.
Christ?
It's Chris. I know it looks like Christ.
Oh, that's what I was saying earlier before we
Yeah.
started recording. I'm like, I'm saying this
It's
dude's name all
Chris.
wrong.
Yeah. He's used to it. Trust
Okay.
me. He's used to it.
Yeah, when I heard you say that, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm saying this dude's name all kinds of wrong.
There's probably so many people though that you watch in movies or, public figures or whatever that we're all saying their names wrong all the time, I bet.
Oh, I
You
feel
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, every time I do a show on here and I have to pronounce people's names, and if it's like
Yeah.
out there, like I said, high school education, Carolina boy, we don't have a good pronunciation of shit. And so when I got to say certain names, it's just like I always apologize. Like I apologize for butchering your name, but
Well, you have done an excellent job pronouncing my name.
hey,
So
nailed it. That's a
nailed it.
that's a
That
win
high
for the
school education is paying off.
hey, damn right it is. Silly teachers. That's a win for the week right there.
Right.
But oh shit, now I feel bad for asking you about how do you make yourself cry. Damn it.
No, you shouldn't. No, you should never feel bad about that.
Oh no, oh no. Um, and what in memory of the first
Hmm?
time I watched in memory of that was one of those, and I don't want to go too much in it because in memory of is on my list of movies to do a show on soon.
Okay.
And I'm gonna rate it if I'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. But so I don't want to go too much in and give away to my small audience out there of how I'm gonna rate this movie. But one of the things I like, it was like I'm watching it and I'm going, there's a part of me going like, what the fuck is going on?
Hmm.
And it was like a car wreck when you drive by and you can't look away.
Yeah.
I'm watching and I'm going, I don't really know what the fuck's going on right now, but I have it had me. I'm locked in
Oh,
on,
good.
and
Good.
so, but yeah, and that's huge fan of Christ, Mr. Christ. Did I say
Mhm.
that right that time?
Yes, you
Hey,
did.
shout out, dude. I appreciate you. I apologize earlier if I butchered your name. But yeah, and so I'm looking forward to talking about that one.
Okay.
I want to bring my brother on board to do that one because he had never heard of it either. When I sent it to him, I was like, "Hey man, look at my new DVD I got," and he's like, "I never heard of that one." I'm like, "Well, go ahead and add it to your list of shit we're going to jump on here and talk about." But and after what came after, like what happened, like after, let's just say your first this movie.
After in memory of,
Oh yeah.
I guess I've done like a lot of stuff that's like never gotten, a big public release or anything. So there was
Why
probably
not?
something
Why
in
not?
between.
Let's figure this out. Like, why not?
And do you know how many movies I've been involved with that have never been finished or have never come out?
Them sons of bitches.
It's a sad thing about independent filmmaking.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked by how many films get started and never get finished or just never get a proper release or anything. It's all just part of it. But I would say like the next bigger release after that would have been Tennessee Golf. because I think we shot that the year after we shot In Memory of.
Mm,
Because I think In Memory of we filmed in 2015, and then I believe Tennessee Gothic was 2016. I think.
okay. So you started young, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, relatively. Like, a lot of actors, they come up doing it when they're kids. I mean, I was doing theater, but like, I never did. I mean, I started doing short films when I was probably like 18 or 19, but I didn't actually act in my first feature until I was 21 or 22, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So you were that young when you did In Memory of.
Yeah, I think I would have been, I think I might have actually turned 22 while we were filming that.
Oh wow.
I think. Yeah.
That's that's
That's
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty
Yes.
young.
I can't remember. In Memory of. I think it's on Tubi.
Yeah, it's on Tubi and it's on Amazon.
Damn
Yeah,
right. People,
that's
people
right.
out there, my family out there, y'all listening to me right now. Y'all listening to Jackie. Go check out In Memory of. You
Do
stream
it.
it for free. Ain't gonna cost you nothing.
Right.
And go check this. Go check the movie out. We're gonna talk about it on this show. It's on my list of movies to talk about In Memory of. So do your homework now, people. Go watch it, stream it, and then Tennessee Gothic.
Tennessee Gothic.
Awesome.
Yeehaw.
Hey, us country boys. I was down with that movie as soon as the music started, and
Yeah.
I love this. Just the soundtrack of everything. I liked it.
Isn't the music great?
It
I love
is. It was
what,
so
how
fucking
they
good.
how Jeff handled the score. I thought all the composers he hired did such a great job.
I have a question for you
What's up?
because I'm not movie smart. Uh, why is it called a score?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
I
I'm
have
not the
no
only one.
idea.
So I'm not the only one.
Oh, I don't know why it's called a score, like as opposed to a soundtrack.
Yeah, like why is it not? Why can't people just say the soundtrack to that movie was fucking awesome?
Well, because the soundtrack is, I think the soundtrack is pre-existing music that is licensed from the artist, and then score is original music. But
Oh,
the actual word score, I don't know what the origin of that is. But technically, they're separate things.
oh, okay. That's the thing I was asking because I always
Okay, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I think like soundtrack, and then I hear score, and I'm like, isn't it just the music to the movie? And that's what my mind thinks. But yeah, that makes sense then. Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up because there's been many times I've listened to stuff and I'm like, oh, the score is awesome. I'm going, what the fuck's a score?
It's just people trying to sound smart,
It is.
right?
It is. It's just some smart folk out there, and it just zooms over my head, and I'm just like,
Well, now you know.
I
Now
do
you know.
know.
We can start using that word.
I will, because I've always made it a thing to go around the score word. It's like I was just,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't want to get on this show and be fake with people and be like, oh, the score to this movie. I don't even sound right saying that shit. And
You
so
sounded right to me.
did
It
it?
sounded,
Okay,
it
see,
sounded great. Yeah.
we're getting better on here, people. We're getting
Yeah.
better.
Keep practicing.
Hey, we going to. As long as everybody's pushing play every week, we'll come on here and drink and talk shit.
Oh yeah.
Um, Another one, people, you can watch on Tubi. I watched it just recently. Tennessee Gothic ain't gonna cost you nothing. Go get her, Sarah girl Jackie. Just show out.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Question about Tennessee Gothic: the personality of Sylvia in Tennessee Gothic.
Mm-hmm.
She is very flirty, very forward, very,
Yep.
she
She's a
knows
certain way. Yeah.
she knows she's got the kryptonite. She knows it.
Oh yeah. She knows it.
And real life Jackie, anything alike.
No, man. No,
No?
not at all. Sylvia, of every character I've ever played, Sylvia is the one that's the least like me. Like the least like me. Most of the characters I've played, I can find some sort of commonality between me and them, but Sylvia, that just had to be completely brand new because I'm like, dude, she's a siren, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and I've never been that girl. So that was kind of a fun one though, because it was challenging for me because it was hard to really find anything of myself to put into her. So it all kind of just had to be made up from scratch.
Well, you sold it very well.
Thank you.
Very well, because I when I'm watching that movie, there's a part of me because when I watch movies, I always ask myself, I wonder how they are in real life. I would just
Right.
if like if they're that way, you see like the cocky, the arrogant, the real shy type people, and you wonder, So when I'm watching Sylvia in Tennessee Gothic, I'm just like, I wonder,
No, I'm not like her at all.
oh, okay, and that's why I had
In
to ask.
fact, a lot of my friends will frequently tell me that I have the personality of a goblin. So do with that what you will. Sylvia's not a goblin, but apparently I am. Jackie Kelly is a goblin.
Hey, that just shows you the breach of your talent.
It just shows you the range to go
Yeah.
from goblin to siren, right?
Yeah, and just nail it to where it's like, what's good when when people watch it and they go, I wonder if she really like that, because there's some people that they could play a part and you'd be like, they're that is so fucking fake.
Like you're not believing it.
Yeah, exactly. And as I'm watching Tennessee Gothic, believable all the
Oh,
way,
good. I'm glad to hear that.
no, totally nailed it.
It's so
And-
hard for me to watch my work objectively because I never think I nail it. Because when I watch one of my performances, I just find all the little moments that I think I should have done differently. So I have a very hard time watching any of my films. Most of the films I've ever done, I have watched one time and then I don't watch them again because I don't really like watching myself. So I'm glad that it's reading well. That's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. Around here we enjoy it around here.
Right.
But yeah, and I get that, because that was one of the things that I always wonder, like when people, they make movies, I feel sure there's actors, actresses that don't even watch it. Like they do a movie, and they're just like, I have no desire to watch it.
Right.
Because, it's as small as like this podcast is. You couldn't pay Jay enough to go back and watch episode 1.
Oh, really?
Because I just feel like that, I just know I would sit there and look at it and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
yeah, no, you'll just cringe, right?
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
I feel when I watch my stuff. Is like you only find the stuff that you don't like.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. And not on the level, shit show to all-star here, Jackie Kelly people.
Well, there's something about hearing your own voice, I think, because in my head, my voice sounds one way, but then when I watch a movie that I'm in, I'm like, I don't sound like that. That's not my voice. And it's like, why does it sound so different in my ears, And I can't stand the way I sound when I actually hear it for real. It's very disturbing to me.
Yeah, I was like that growing up because I grew up in the Carolinas. People tell me I have a Southern twang about me.
Yeah.
And like when I talk, I don't hear it. But if I listen to a show and I hear myself talk, I'm like, holy shit, that's what I sound like to people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's how
translate
I
that.
am because I grew up around Chicago and I'm in my head I don't sound like I'm from Chicago, but people tell me all the time that I do. And I don't think I do, but apparently.
I didn't think Chicago people had an accent.
They go Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. Like all of their vowels are just like very hard, And apparently I do that and I never notice it until I hear my voice and then I'm like, "Oh yeah. I kind of sound like a mobster."
Yeah, and I've watched several of your stuff. I had to, I've only talked to you through like hear you through the movies, but I wouldn't have guessed like Chicago.
Really?
I knew like you'd posted like, kind of based in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Missouri, being in the military, and I know people from St. Louis.
Okay.
And so it's just not for me. You just sound like anybody else.
Anyone else from the Midwest? I'll take it.
Yeah, see, you're good. Don't worry about all them little fucking haters out there trying to talk
Yeah.
down. Fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck them
Fuck them.
haters.
Hey, on this show, we appreciate the fuck word people. You know, and I appreciate the fact that Jackie drops it early in the game. It's a good thing.
Yeah. It
And if you
happens.
watch any Jackie movies, people, if you watch any of them, hey, put on your big boy britches. Don't come in there with your thin skin.
Yeah. Put on your big boy pants and
Yeah.
watch some movies.
Um, is there? It's I always like when I talk to him. I had Bill on here. I always ask like, what is there a part that you played that was like your, whether it being it was the most challenging, whether it being it was just fun? Is there that one part that you just like, man, I fucking love that because you got to do something that wasn't normal, and maybe that was kind of what you were talking about with fucking Sylvia from.
Yeah, I think I would say that's Sylvia for
Yeah.
me, just because it's so far out of my wheelhouse, and um, yeah, it was a really challenging role. But I mean, that movie was so much fun to make. Like, that was I have really fond memories of making that movie. I mean, we shot it in a town called Viola in Tennessee, which is about, if I'm remembering correctly, like an hour or an hour and a half outside of Nashville. And we shot it over the course of about a month, and we were shooting 6-day weeks, with 1 day off. And we kind of like took over this tiny town because Viola's real small.
Mhm.
And the man who offered us the main shooting location, like the main house, he also owned a church right down the street that was, it wasn't operative. Like no one, they weren't holding services in there. They hadn't for years. And so we actually were living in a church for that entire shoot. Like the whole cast and crew lived like in this church. And so it was a very unique experience, just like living with the whole cast and crew in that kind of environment. And I always really, really enjoy when I get to leave town for a shoot and live with the casting crew because, man, the thing about making movies, I'm going off topic now, but the thing about making movies,
We don't have a plan here, Jackie. I told you this in the
we're
beginning.
just gonna roll with it.
We
We're
just
rolling
roll with it.
Um, I've got to say my favorite thing about making movies is that family element when you're all living with people and you're, because film shoot days are long, like you're not doing like an 8-hour day, like industry standard is 12, but when you're doing indie stuff, a lot of times you're shooting a lot longer than 12-hour days. And so you're just like, you're working all day with these people, and then they're the last people you see before you go to bed, and then you wake up and they're the first people you see for like a month, and just the relationships that you build with people in that amount of time, it's wild. Like you feel like you know people better after having known them for a week than some people that you've known your whole life. And so that was something I really cherished about that experience was I met a lot of my best friends on that movie. And I had known some of them previously, but like not super well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that worked on that film are now like some of my closest collaborators. And a lot of them are coming up to work on my feature directing debut Hag next month. I've got a lot of the Tennessee Gothic crew coming up for that because they're just amazing people. And they're just so savvy with all things filmmaking. It's just such a good team of people. So I really, really, man, that's one of my favorite film experiences for sure.
Yeah, and that part, I definitely get that. I mentioned earlier, I've been in the military now for almost 20 years, and one of
Okay.
my best times is early on in my career, back when this was after 9/11, so all the deployments and everybody's overseas, and I remember, 8 of us being stuck in these little wooden huts, with just a bed and no privacy. Like you're literally laying next to the same person. And
Yeah.
like, 15 months, you wake up
Wow.
every morning together, you go to breakfast together, you go to work together, you damn near shower together. And
Yeah.
that and I look back and people are like, man, that's gotta suck. And I was like, no, that was the best time. That just that closeness, that bond that you get with the guys or ladies that you may be around. And
Mhm.
yeah, I totally get that, and people ask me, I've been asked like, what's your favorite time being in the military? And I tell them it's those 8 or 9 people shoved in a little wooden hut,
Yeah.
just doing everything together. And so I totally get that. Like it just brings you because you have no choice. You know,
Right. Right.
this
And are
is
you still close with those people today?
a couple of them I am. A couple of them that, through, the good old Facebook because
Yeah.
everybody goes hit this way, that way. And there's a couple of them, that even through whether it be something as simple as a Facebook post or something, just and that's crazy, the same way, like you said, it brings you closer. That
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it creates that kind of family environment. And I say it all the time that all of my best friends in the whole world I've met making films.
Mm,
All of them, And even if it was years ago back when I was in film school still, all of my favorite people I met working on movies. And so it's something I really enjoy about it is the people that I get to meet. And, most of the people that I work with are also predominantly horror filmmakers or actors. And so you share this very specific interest with these people. And,
mhm.
when I was growing up, I've always been into kind of like off the beaten path, obscure to a lot of people, horror movies. And I never could find anyone to talk to movies or talk about movies with. And now that I've found my tribe of, filmmaking friends, it's like everyone knows what I'm talking about all the time when we talk about movies. And I love that because then you get out into the real world and like no one has any idea what the fuck we're talking about. But it's a cool thing that has brought a lot of us together. Our shared love of horror cinema.
Yep. And that's the good thing. And the other side of that is, there's people out there because I work with people that, they'll hear about like, oh, you do a podcast. What do you do about it? It's about horror movies. And there's some people that are like, they don't really know a whole lot about horror. They know this and
Yeah.
this, and they start asking questions. And the fact that, being able to talk to somebody and get them to turn toward the horror side of,
Yeah.
is such I love talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a super in-depth person. It's just not the way I am, but I will sit there and, you know, talk about horror movies with people, and people ask me, have people ask me like, what's some movies you recommend? And I don't go to the know-all movies. I don't, when people ask me like, what's a good movie I can check out? I don't jump on the popular train of the ones
Yeah.
that everybody knows. And anybody that's listening to the show on here, I love independent horror. I love everything about it. And those are the ones that I put people to go watch. It's like, go watch this one. And they'll be like, oh, I've never heard of it. Well, just go watch it, and that's why I appreciate the fact that, the stuff you do is on the independent side. And I've come across a lot of movies that I've enjoyed. Like, let's just say, like when I started following you, and I see the movies you've done, and then I look at other people who have, and I will go down the rabbit hole. I'll look at people
Yeah.
who've been in the movie with you, and then I look at that, and then I look at what did they play in? I've never heard.
Yeah.
Of it. Let me go watch that. And I love that. It's just independent horror to me, and like we had talked before we started recording. It's just the fact that people have something in their head, and they can put it down on paper or however they do it, and then make this happen without big wigs putting their fucking finger in it and trying to control
Yeah.
it and all
Yeah.
that crap.
And without a lot of money,
Yes, exactly.
not a lot of money. Yeah. You
And
gotta get creative.
yes, and you know, we could talk about a couple of the movies you did, but what I want to do now is I want to shift it to what you got in the works.
Okay.
Because this, I was, like I said, we had mentioned earlier, I was excited when I seen that you were doing this. Big fan of female directors, writers, horror anyway. I love it when I say it this way. I love it when a chick could come in the room and drop her balls on the table and be like, "Look,
That's what it's all about. I love dropping balls on the table.
there you go. You get it. You get it. See, and that's one of the things I was like, that's what I like, and that's why I'm a fan of it. And so when I seen you were starting this, I call it your baby. When you're starting, like, this is your baby.
Yeah.
And so I want you to talk about what got you here, what the whole process. You ain't got to give nothing away or nothing like that, but just talk about your baby.
Talk about Hag. Okay. So, Hag is going to be my feature film directorial debut. I had directed shorts. It's been a long time since I've directed a short, but I had directed a couple shorts many moons ago. They never saw the light of day, and they're not very good. I don't really care to share them with the world. But I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. I actually never intended to be an actor. I always wanted to be a writer and director. And then after we made In Memory of, it kind of took off for me, and I just started getting a lot of acting work. And so that the writing, directing thing just, excuse me, kind of was put on the back burner. And then over the last few years, I was just like, it's like one of those, it sounds morbid, but it's one of those things where you never know how much time you have left. And it's like, I could be hit by a bus next year. I hope I don't, but I could. And I don't want anything like that to happen and feel like, man, I never directed the feature. I never did that thing I always said I was going to do. And so about a year ago, I think I started writing, at least started outlining it about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I really just buckled down and we made it happen. And I've got a really, really amazing crew on this one. Seriously, it's like all of my best friends that are helping me bring this thing to life. So it's already been a lot of fun. But yeah, it's kind of like I guess it's a horror film. It's got a lot of like drama elements, but it's definitely like heavy on horror elements too. It's pretty violent, and it's pretty surreal too. And essentially it's about like a prostitute that is afraid that she is like aging out of the world of prostitution, and she's concerned, like, how am I going to pay my bills, because these girls that are fresh out of high school, they're taking all my work. And so it's kind of like a spiral into insanity film about this young, relatively young woman that is horrified by the concept of getting older. And so that's what we're trying to accomplish with it. I think the script is pretty bombastic. There's a handful of scenes in there that I've personally never seen in a movie, and I think they're kind of batshit. So I'm pretty excited about some of those scenes in particular, because I think they're scenes that people are going to be like, oh wow, I've never seen anyone do that in a movie before. That's the goal, at least. But yeah, so we start shooting that in October for a month, and we will keep you posted about everything after that, after we shoot. And it'll take a while to come out. A lot of people are surprised to hear how long it takes for these films to get edited, but it'll take a minute. But yeah, we're gonna do the best we can to deliver a weird ass violent film.
Hey, I don't know about anybody else out there. I'm all for weird ass, fucked up, and violent. I will take it every day of the week. I will take it 7 days a week. Now, the what's that thing called you've been doing? Indigo. What is that?
Indiegogo.
When does that end?
There are 5 days left. Let me confirm that. I believe there are four.
Can you extend it?
I don't think you can unless your campaign goes in demand. And I don't think we're going to go in demand. But
I was just wondering about whether the release date of the show. I was going to have you kind of plug it, but I didn't want it to be
4 days from now. Yeah.
Okay.
We end in 4 days.
Well, Damn it.
So yeah, I mean we've gotten a lot of donations for that, and it's actually been pretty incredible, like the support that we've received from it. There were like a few times when I just like started like bawling because I felt so loved by people, which I know it's like very cheesy, but seriously, it's like meant the world, like how many people have been supportive of this, because it means a lot to me, like this. And I know anyone's going to say that, of course, if they're making a film, right? But it really does mean a lot to me, and it's like the most important thing in my life right now is this film. So any support that we've received, I don't take it for granted. So
Oh,
it's been a great campaign.
yeah, and that's good. That's good. And because I feel sure there's people out there that are listening to this that don't really understand independent. They don't. They probably heard it, and and for me, for one, I didn't grow up through my life watching horror movies and getting it. I didn't get into the horror scene to probably a little over a couple years ago because
Oh, okay.
yeah, we were me and I grew up real religious. And
Okay.
I love going down a religious rabbit hole. Don't even get me started because I'll go there. But
Yeah.
growing up, we were not allowed to watch stuff like that.
Okay.
It's all the devil, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So it was
so
a later in life kind of thing for you.
yeah,
That's
and so
interesting.
it was later for me to get into it. And so my brother John, who does the show with me, he's the one that kind of turned me on to it. I hit him up one day. I was like, hey man, give me some stuff to watch. He kind of throws a couple names of some movies, and then I just went snowballing down the hill after that. It was like
Yeah.
I was digging and looking, and from the underground stuff to there's nothing I won't watch horror related.
Yeah.
And so when I first started really getting into it, I started coming into the independent side of it, where it was like, and had to look into it because I really didn't know. I would see shit like independent, and I didn't know what the fuck that really meant until I got into it and looked at it. And like, man, these people are like, they fund their own shit. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have to. And what I like about it is not having to answer to anybody. That's
Yeah.
one of the coolest things about it because I'm that type of personality where it's like, I don't want to fucking answer to nobody. I want to do what I want to do. If you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. And so for the independent side, that's what that is. Y'all, there's no red tape. Y'all get to kind of do what you want to do,
Right.
but y'all have to fund this thing. Y'all ain't got big Hollywood out there throwing money in your pockets. And that's, there's a lot that goes into independent horror.
Mm-hmm.
We get to sit back and we get to enjoy it and we get to watch it and not knowing the sacrifice it took to put this on the screen. And that's why I appreciate what independent horror does. I appreciate what you're doing with Hag. And, I'm super excited for it. I can't wait. I am.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. And you got it exactly right, because like this independent filmmaking thing, it is entirely a labor of love. When you look at like a big studio film, and in most cases, the director is just that. They're a director. But when you're a director of an independent feature film, you're not just the director, you're also the producer, and you're also handling all of the wardrobe, and you're also helping with production design, and it's like you're wearing a million hats.
Oh yeah.
And so there's like so much that goes into it, and it's frankly an overwhelming experience at times, because it's like it's hard to focus on like anything else when you're producing a feature film, because you'd just be amazed by the amount of moving parts involved, and how many people are involved, and how many schedules you have to coordinate with people, and then there's a snag with someone's schedule, and so you've got to move all of this around, and it's just like I don't know. I've never like managed a workplace before in any capacity, but I'd imagine in some ways it's kind of similar to that, because you've got to be like the communicator with every single department, and hope that you don't screw it up, right?
I get that side of it because I've been in the military for 20 years, and
Sure.
you have I've been in charge of, hundreds of people and having to manage that shit. So I can understand that where it's like, but it's crazy though, because you get caught up in that moment of like, holy shit, I gotta fucking do this. And then that time comes when it's done and you're able to look
Yeah.
back on it and go, I fucking did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel sure, like, now, like I said, y'all are just now really getting into Hag and everything's amping up, and I feel sure there's that moment where you're going to sit back and you're going to be like, holy fuck, like, look what I did,
Yeah. But look what we all did too,
Yeah,
because
yeah, exactly.
it's such a team effort, and it's one of those things that, like, I'm not just saying this, like, I really couldn't do this without all of the people working with me. Like, there's no way in hell, it's like we've had so many meetings with, for example, our special effects artist. We just sat down with him last night, and we're constantly having meetings with him about all the effects work he's doing and how we're going to shoot it. And he's got to meet with other actors to get life casts of their face so we can, like, make prosthetics for them. And it's just such a deeply involved process. It's not like you decide you're going to make a film and then a month later you're making the film. It's like you decide you're going to make a film and then a year later, you're finally making the film. You're actually rolling the cameras, and then still, like, shit is going to go wrong. That's the other thing, is it doesn't matter how much you plan. Some shit is going to go horribly wrong. I just know it, because that's how it always is. And you figure it out. And I guess that's kind of the fun of it, is all the little happy accidents that happen along the way and make the film what it ultimately ends up being that you didn't anticipate for.
Yeah, and I like that idea of, like, we're gonna fuck some shit up as we go, and then we're gonna, you just
For sure.
react to it, and
Right, that's exactly what it is. It's just reacting to it, and you can choose to crumble under the pressure, or you can say, okay, well, this thing fell through, so what are we going to do instead? And I mean, I've already, even though this is my first project my first feature as a director, it's like I've seen it happen a million times on other productions. Like, nothing ever goes the way it's planned 100%.
no, it. I would be worried if everything did go according to
Yeah,
plan.
and it won't.
If all the boxes just kept getting checked, I'd be sitting back going, that
Just
would
you
stress
wait.
me out more. Like,
Yeah,
I would rather
yeah,
have to fuck up shit and be like, okay,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I would hate to go through something and get all the way 3/4 away and everything's just clicking and clicking, and
Perfect. Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
you starts getting kind of, you get kind of laid back to that. You kind of,
Yeah.
this thing just rolling smooth, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, holy fuck! Now we got to react to this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's best to stay on your toes.
oh yeah, and
Sure.
that's awesome. And like I said, people out there listening, hey, the independence is where it's at. They're the ones putting in the time, the effort, the love of it. There's directors out there in these big fucking budget shits that it's there for a paycheck, people. They're for a fucking paycheck. Independence is there because
Some of them are.
they love it. That's their babies.
Yeah. We're
That's that's
we're
their
we're out of our damn minds, man.
hey.
This shit's so hard. We're out of our minds, but I don't. We all say it all the time. We're like, I don't know what else we'd be doing. What else are we gonna do other
Hey,
than make movies?
hey,
So you give.
the simple folk like me out there that appreciate it. And like I said, I can't wait. When any independent type shit, I will rabbit hole. I tell anybody, if you had to sit me down and be like, you have to watch a certain type of genre, if you had to pick up movies to watch for the rest of your life, the only thing you could watch for me, it would only be independent. Like, you would
Really?
just give me independent horror, and that's just what I enjoy watching. And because I have this, I call it a gift, to where no matter what movie I watch, once I push play, I got to get to the end of it.
Yeah.
It could be the biggest pile of dog shit that,
But you'll watch it.
but I got to. It's like, I've started it, and I got to finish the movie.
Yeah.
And I may sit back and say, there's only been one movie on this the entire time I've done this podcast. There's only been like one movie that I have really went hard and just hated on. But I still, at the end of it, I'd be like, that's my little simple-minded opinion. You go watch it, make your own
Right.
opinion.
Right.
And even to this day, I still refuse to pronounce it by the name of the actual movie because I disliked it that much. Like I refuse. Skinnamarink-a-dink, if you're out there.
Oh, it's Skinamarink. You hated Skinamarink, huh? You're
Oh,
not alone in that, but I actually enjoyed Skinamarink.
my
I
brother
wouldn't say
did too.
enjoy. It's not entertaining, but it's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And
my
so
brother
I
was
gotta give it props.
yes, my little brother was the exact same way
Yeah.
when we did the show. Because I think he might have, I can't remember if he married it or whatever, but he liked it. And it
You
was just,
liked it.
yeah, it was his. And that's and that's the great thing about fucking watching movies and having opinions and being able to talk about it. Because I looked at it as like completely different. He looked at it, loved it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting back like, man, I'd rather have you just, pull my teeth right now
And watch Skinamarink.
than to
Yeah,
watch.
I've heard that from a lot of people. It
Yeah.
definitely had a pretty polarizing response, yeah, it's just I think it's unlike anything else I've really seen. So for that reason, I'm like I respect it. I respect it.
It'd be a fuck.
I also respect your decision to be a hater of it.
Yeah,
I respect anyone's. I respect the right to hate.
Hey, and that's cool. So just from my brother, when he listens to this, he'll like it. The fact is, so you would fuck Skinnamarink, or would you marry? Marrying it, just so we break it down real quick.
Okay, yeah, like run me.
Okay, the way we do it here, marrying it is like that movie that you could put in anytime, any day, and you.
Oh, then no, then
or
fuck it.
Yeah, the fuck is your friends with benefits. That's the movie.
Yeah,
Every now and then.
Yeah, I see what you're doing because with Skinnamarink, I've only seen it once. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and while I very much respect the film, it's not it's not like it's one of those things where it's like, man, I gotta sit down and watch, those long shots of the corner of a wall again. It's not like I'm like itching to revisit it as soon as possible. I'm sure I'll rewatch it one day. Yeah, it's not like a ride or die film.
No, I get it. It's your friends with benefits, home on a Friday night, feeling kind of lonely.
Yeah.
You just gotta
frisky, you turn on Skinamarink.
Yeah, you need that. You need something to scratch that itch. And you just
that's right.
Skinnamarink-a-dink.
Yeah.
Exactly. My brother will appreciate it because me and him went back and forth on that one.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth with a lot of people on that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is it's something. But what is I'm curious. I like to ask people, like, when it comes to the different horror, there's always different genres. You got the slashers, the this and that. What's your go-to? What's your
I mean, I don't think I really have a go-to.
It's just whatever.
There was a time in my life when I was really into slashers. When I was a teenager, that was like I watched a lot of slashers and I watched a lot of like extreme horror, extreme underground stuff. And I still have. There's absolutely still a place in my heart for both those types of movies, but I don't watch that kind of stuff like all the time anymore. I don't know if I really have like a favorite subgenre of horror.
Mm-hmm.
I like surrealist stuff. I'm more into like just like really weird movies. Like even if they're like not like exactly horror, like I just like I was saying, just like envelope pushing cinema. I like violent cinema. But I don't know. I feel like my tastes are pretty broad when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, when it comes to movies, I tell people like movies sometimes, especially horror, is like music to me because big fan listening to music. But there may be one day I want to get up and I want to ride around with some Creedence Clearwater Revival playing, and then the next I want to hear some Baby Shaking music. That just and that's the way horror is for me.
With music too, yeah. Sure. It really kind of depends on the mood that I'm in.
Yeah.
But I would say I mostly watch horror or horror-esque type stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like comedies too, but I definitely watch more horror than anything else.
Oh yeah. Same here. Same here. Big fans. But yeah, I am super looking forward to fucking Hag. I can't wait. You know. But what is if you had to give advice, if there is a little young Jackie out there right now,
Ah, yes, young Jackie.
and if their parents are cool enough to let their little kid listen to this type of shit that I'm
Okay.
talking, what
My
is
dad would have let me. My mom wouldn't.
yeah, my dad would have, my mom would have been like, you're going to hell.
Right.
You're burning right now. I can smell it.
That's awesome.
But what is because I see it with a lot of kids. We got a teenager now, me and my wife. We got a 15-year-old. And
Okay.
it's that you almost wish you could just if you wish you could program the brain to make them not make the same fuck ups that you made growing up. Where it's like I wish
Yeah.
I could get you to see it. But people they don't. They're going to have to learn it. They're going to have to. And she's very artistic. She loves drawing and stuff like that. But I won't. I always try to push to her to get that attitude of like you said in that comment that I read earlier, where it's just like you just got to say fuck it and just
Yeah.
be like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what makes me happy, what I want to do, and I'm just going to fucking send it. And haters be fucked type way,
Hmm.
you know. Um, what if you had to talk to little Jackie right now? What are you telling? What are you telling little Jackie Kelly?
I mean, it'd be something to that effect. I mean, basically, yeah, don't not do something because you're afraid you're gonna fail at it. Because I think, what do I know? I haven't. I'm 31 years old, so it's not like I have this like age old wisdom. But I think from what I've observed in my life, I think a lot of people never do the shit that they want to do because they're afraid that they're gonna fuck it up, and they're afraid that someone's gonna look at them like you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? That's stupid. And then I think a lot of people end up unhappy because of that, because they never like do that thing that they feel like they were meant to do. And I don't know. It's like I think it's one of those things you have to like train yourself, like to get good at. It's not. I don't. For people, maybe for some people, that's like an inherent quality of theirs. It wasn't for me. I had to like thicken my skin maybe, and not worry about what people were going to think about, the projects that I worked on. But yeah, I mean, I think it would just be that. Like if you're gonna find if you're making art at least, like you're gonna find your audience,
Yeah.
chances are. And people are gonna hate the shit that you do. But then there will be some people that really vibe with it, like you, for example. It's like I had never formally met you until tonight. And sometimes it's so crazy to me to think about all these films that we've done over the years, and you're like, man, like people are watching this shit and they're enjoying it. And it's like that's really cool. And I understand that what I do is not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy that it's found its audience. And that's enough for me, and I'm gonna keep making them, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
if you don't like it, I don't care. You
yeah,
know,
you can go fuck right off over there, people, if you don't like it.
something
Right
like
over
that.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I definitely like that because I use that same line with our teenager, the thick skin line, and I tell her all
yeah.
the time, the kid, I call her kiddo all the time. I'm like, kiddo, you gotta get some thick skin.
Yeah,
Like
and
you can't.
especially if it's an artist,
Yeah,
because that's art is one of those things that like everyone loves to criticize artists, and the people that are the most critical of artists are people that have never made a damn piece of art in their life.
yeah,
And so it's really easy to say, well, that sucks. I could do better than that. And it's like, well, have you even tried? So if she's gonna pursue the art thing, that is something for sure. She's gonna have to have a thick skin because people like to run their mouths, and hopefully she can rise above that and just keep making it because she likes to make it. That's cool that she's artsy fartsy. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Good for
Ain't
her.
nothing wrong with it. And that's what I say sometimes, like when me and my brother do a show sometime, there's a part of me when I get on here and I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill this movie because I just didn't like it. And there's a part of me
Yeah.
when I do that, I still it's like in a way I have to say, like, I couldn't do it. I can't do what you do, and so it's like there's a part of me like, because if I were to come across this show and I jumped on here and I just talk shit about,
Every movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Skinnamarink-a-dink, I talk shit about it, and
Right.
the dude could be like, well, you fucking make it, and I can't. I don't have that. But see,
Yeah. Sorry, I just cut you off. I'm an
no, you're
asshole.
good. You're good. You're
Um,
good.
yeah, that being said, like there's plenty of movies that I fucking hate,
Yeah.
but I just feel like there's a certain type of personality that looks at making films like I could do that.
Yeah.
That looks easy, and it's just like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I'm not saying you couldn't do it because you can. It's a lot of work, man, and I think people would be really surprised to learn
Yeah.
how much goes into it. And so it's like, it's like when you spend years of your life working on a film and it means so much to you and you poured all your guts into it, and then you go and you look at the reviews of it on Letterbox, and then someone's just like, this is pointless,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh man, that cuts me deep, man. It wasn't pointless like those 2 years I spent. It's just one of those things. People are entitled to their opinions, though,
Yeah.
so
And
have to let it roll off.
that would, yeah. Do you do that? Are you one of those types that would like go to like IMDb and shit and look at the reviews?
Oh, I'll read the reviews. Yeah,
Oh, do you? Okay.
yeah, I'll read the reviews, and I'll read. Man, people say some mean shit, and I'm good at, like, I can laugh at it at least. Yeah, it doesn't. They don't get to me too bad.
Yeah.
And it's like they say that you're never as you're never as good as your best review, and you're never as bad as your worst review. And I try to always think about that if I read a review, because I think there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, because there's been movies that I really like I'm a big fan of, and I've gone and I look at them, like go and read reviews of what people have said, and there's a
Mhm.
part of me when I read it, I just wish there was a reply button so I could,
Yeah.
like, hey, you just go fuck you, dude, like you're wrong.
Yeah, 'cause people are
Because
brutal, man. People
they
are
are.
really
There are
brutal in
some.
reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's worse when people go to like these little, like the either Letterbox, IMDb, and they leave these reviews. I feel like that, to me, that's worse because nobody can like
Yeah.
respond like me on my show. I can get on here and be like, talk shit. Let's just say if I wanted to talk shit about In the Memory of,
Yeah.
and I just bash it. We have a website. I have my email up there. We have social media. Anybody could get on there and be like, hey, dude, you could get on there and be like, well, why don't you come on down to St. Louis and you make a fucking movie and
Yeah.
you let me know let's see how fucking good you are at it.
Right.
And but yeah, people that just drop a little shit in a damn IMDb or letterbox and then drop their little shit talking and run off, you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
You know,
People are brutal. People are pretty brutal. And you just go, oh man,
yeah.
well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I
What
would
are
have
you
to
gonna
find the
do?
humor side in it. I always do. It's just the way I'm built. No matter how bad shit's going, don't take me anywhere serious. Like, don't take me to a funeral because I'm not
Yeah.
got to find a way to make us laugh, lighten up the
Just
mood.
ruin it.
Yeah, and so I'm that one, and I tell people all the time, like, on our website and stuff, I like you can leave whatever reviews you want. I don't
Mhm.
go in there and take any of them out. And I'd be like, if you're going to leave me a 1-star review and talk shit, don't just leave me a 1-star, leave me a comment,
Right.
give me something
If
to
you're
where
gonna hate me, let me know why.
yeah, and then I want to come on here the next week and I want to talk shit to you
Right.
and
Right.
make it funny because it's
Yeah.
just like you're a little peasant still sleeping in your mama's basement. sit behind your fucking keyboard. You're a fucking pussy.
Keyboard warriors, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta find humor in it, you know,
Oh, yeah.
otherwise you drive yourself crazy. That's the thing with like as soon as you make work that starts getting reviewed, you're like, if I can't find the humor in this, like I'm gonna hate myself.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you've gotta be able to laugh and just be like, well, I guess we didn't make that movie for them, you know, and that's fine.
Fuck them and their feelings.
And then we're like, you know what? They still watched the whole thing. So we still took like 90 to 120 minutes of their life. So
That's what I say about this show. I was like, if people
yeah,
come here and listen, as long as you give me 7 or 8 minutes to where I get credit,
Right.
you can go fuck right off after you're done.
Right.
I get my credit,
right.
and then
That's
you
the
can talk
spirit.
shit. But yeah, it's super cool what you do and what
Yeah.
your group does. And I say you, but I know you have a team of people that, you know. One question I do have though for Hag is my dude in it? Mr. Chris.
Jason Chris, he is. Yeah.
Yes.
He will be playing a substantial role in the film. He's acting in it and he's a producer on the film. So he is. I actually just saw him this morning. He's
Oh.
heavily involved in the film. So you'll get to see your dude.
Hell yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I am too. He's one of
Yeah.
my favorite people, and he's one of my best friends, and he's an incredible talent. So
Yeah.
he'll be involved in anything that I make now and anytime going forward. Jason will always be involved.
That's awesome. Awesome. Like I said, I was came across him really when the first time I'd watched In Memory Of.
Okay,
I was like, who's this bearded guy?
just bearded.
Yeah,
dude.
and he just
Yeah.
got this super cool way about him, and I
Yeah.
liked it, like super
Yeah.
cool, laid back type way. And I was like, and I looked him up when I'm watching In Memory Of, and I see his name. I was like, holy shit, his last name's Christ. And so I said it wrong up until earlier.
It's spelled like Christ,
It
but
is.
yeah,
And but yeah, I that's why I wanted to check see if he was in Hag. I'm a big fan. And
oh yeah, he's in
that's
half.
awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else that you got coming out? that's
Yeah.
getting the
So the last film that I made with Eric Stancy, who directed In Memory Of, is called Anxiety. And that is coming out. We just shipped out the pre-orders for that film, so it came out like if you ordered the pre-order, it came out 2 weeks before the actual release date. But I believe the actual release date is September 24th. And it's a very weird surrealist horror film. It's about an alcoholic in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, and she's just kind of losing her mind, and it gets just very weird movie. But I'm really, really proud of that one. I'm excited for people to see that. And that's available on our web store, wickedpixel.com/web store. And hopefully it will be streaming on, I don't know, I should know this, but I don't exactly know what services it's going to be streaming on. I'm assuming Amazon and Tubi at least. But yeah, that's the most recent release for me is Anxiety.
So you just rattled off that website link, so I can go there and buy the DVD.
Yes, wickedpixel.com/web store.
Okay, family, I know y'all heard that, but what I want to have Jackie do when we're all said and done here, I'm gonna get her to email me any links she wants me to put up. Yeah.
Yep.
And all these links, whether it be if she wants to share Instagram, whatever, I want to get those links. So when this show goes up, as you're listening to it in the description, that stuff's gonna be there because I wanted to know that because I need the Blu-ray to add to my collection.
And Jason's in that one too.
Oh, well, see, damn it.
And I gotta say, and I'm not the only one, but everyone who has seen the film so far is in agreement that it's Jason's best performance.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, he's solid in it. He's really solid in it.
I'm going to be getting that bad boy on order soon.
Yeah. Check it out, guys.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, because I remember when I pulled up, I was looking for, I think a couple of days ago, I was just kind of looking through because I literally just watched Tennessee Gothic a few days ago, and as I'm looking at the cast in it, and I'm kind of seeing who everybody is, and I'm looking through it, and I forget how I think I may have clicked on Mr. Christ, and upcoming. I'd seen that one, and I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder when this one's going to be coming out. To
Yep.
where,
It's
you know,
it's here.
oh yeah,
It's
looking
out
forward.
now. Yeah.
So everybody, y'all need to go check that shit out. And I go and tell you people now, I've learned everybody, I get it. We can all stream and we got all this digital shit that we can download. Hey, there's nothing better. And I've learned this from my brother to be able to hold it in your hand.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And the stuff that's streaming, a lot of that stuff you're watching on Netflix or Hulu, those Netflix and Hulu originals that you can't get on physical media, if they ever take that shit down, you might never be able to watch
Yeah.
it again.
It's
So
gone.
get your movies on Blu-ray. I am a huge
Yeah.
proponent for physical media, so I couldn't agree more.
And I was one of those that was just like, oh, I bought it on Amazon. I digitally got it. And then my brother, who's been collecting for years, he kind of got me onto it. I'm seeing some of his stuff and I'm like, fuck. And I started kind of slowly, getting them. And it is just something cool, like when you can just like show off the fact, like,
Yeah,
these are mine. I have these,
yeah,
I can watch them. Internet can go down tomorrow and I can slap my old DVD player
that's
and
right.
to watch these
Right.
movies. And
Well,
so,
and with the streaming services, they're constantly rotating movies in and
oh
out.
yeah.
It's like you're never guaranteed that the movie that you want to watch is even going to be streaming. If you've got it on Blu-ray, watch it whenever you want.
Yeah. And I
So
would
I
definitely
agree.
be getting my Tennessee Gothic is in the mail.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just got the notification. Like I said, I just watched it a couple days ago, and as soon as I watched it, I was like, I got to find it. And I went looking
Nice.
for it, tracked it down, and they sent me a thing earlier today and said it just shipped today. So I will have Tennessee Gothic to add to it here soon. And I'm definitely going to get, like I said, the new one coming out. Say the name again.
Anxiety.
Yeah. That one is definitely going to be ordered as soon as I need you to send me that link.
I will do that. Of course. I will
Yeah.
send you all the links.
Yes. And so I'm definitely going to get that one put on order. And so is there, and I know I asked this I know your plate's super fucking full right now, but is there anything else that's kind of like to the right of Hack?
Oh man, right now, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even really been thinking about I have a couple shoots that are supposed to happen next year, but these things are always so fluid and shoots get moved around all the time. Things get planned, but they don't happen. So I kind of just take it a month at a time. A lot of times when I do these shoots just as an actor, sometimes people hit me up like, "Hey, what are you doing next month?"
Mm.
And then I'm like, and then a month later, I'm in a different state working on this film for a month. So who knows? Who knows? My life, I never know what's going on. But in terms of like my babies, my creative projects, Hag is like that's everything right now. So
And there's one I want to ask you about, and if it's one of those that we can't or you're not going to talk about, that's fine. I'm just going to say one word, and you say whether or not we can talk about it or not. Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Yeah, you posted a picture of it the other day. The cowgirl dressed up in the looking like a western.
Oh yeah. So it's a movie called Down the Long River, and I played a very small part in it. I'm not like a huge role.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's the first Western film that I ever did. I don't even fancy myself much of a Western fan, but when I was offered this part, I was so excited because I'm like, who the hell makes Westerns anymore? It's like not a genre that seems to be popular right now. So it's a really ambitious little movie because it's an independent film, but it all takes place in the 1800s. So they had to get all of this period inspired wardrobe and production design. And so I really respect the guys that made it because that was a labor of love for sure. So I just wrapped on that. I have no idea when it'll come out, but
Okay.
I'm sure when it's getting close to coming out, I'll definitely be posting about it.
Oh yeah, because when I seen that the other day, because for me, I love any history type movie, And
Do you?
for me, I'm a huge Western guy. I love
Are
Western.
you?
Yeah.
Cool.
My dad, growing up, I remember like, old shit like Gunsmoke, Lonesome Dove and shit like that. And so I love a good Western. Um, and so when I seen that, you kind of shot that picture up on it, and I was like, I didn't know if that's why I said I didn't want to like, if it wasn't something you could really talk about, that's why I just,
Yeah,
oh boy.
it's I can talk about it. Yeah, it's again, I'm a pretty minor character in that one, but yeah, it was a really fun shoot, a really cool team on that. And I had a lot of fun when I worked on that.
That's
So you
good.
can check me out soon in my first Western.
Hey, as soon as it's out, just let us know, and
Sure, yeah, I'll definitely be posting about it. I'll hit you up and let you know when it's getting close.
you get added to my collection, my Jackie
Cool,
collection.
cool. I love it.
Dude, no, I'll ask this after we're done recording. Because now I'm just being selfish. That's all that question was a selfish question I was about to ask. But 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 yeah, it is. I am super. You're super fucking cool. Let me just say that. Like
Man, I
it's,
appreciate that.
it is. And anytime I have anybody on the show, that's even when I had Bill, even when I had Trevor on, it was just for me, it's just kind of like one of them like, holy shit, like this is this person, and for me, it's super cool. Like I said, I totally respect what you do, the independent side of it, the grind y'all put in on it, and it's a love y'all put in for it, and
Yeah,
it's not, you know, it's not the you're just not getting like you take like big name movies. It's a paycheck. At the end of the day, it's a paycheck. I'm gonna show up. I'm getting paid. I'm going about my business. It's a love, for the stuff that you do and the other people that do independent stuff. And that's why I'm such a fan of it. And on this show, it's going to be something that I continue to do. I get asked all the time when I do shows, and people ask me, like, what was your last episode of? And I may tell them one that they didn't know. And they're like, well, and I've been asked for, like, why don't you cover the more popular stuff? Like, why don't you hit the Jasons, the Freddys, the
right.
Screams, the new shit? And I do hit those every now and then. I do. But for me, it's like I enjoy bringing attention to them ones that people are going to scroll by,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. We
And I,
appreciate that.
yep. And if I had to pick, it would be, if I had to, gun to my head. If this show had to be about a particular type, I would do independent horror if I had to. I love them, you know, and so I appreciate it here on this show. Us little fucked up family that we have here. I, you know, kudos every time I get a chance to talk about independent horror, whether it be directors, movies, especially female. I'm a big fan. Bring your balls to the table.
Right,
And
I'm doing it. Balls
yes,
on the table.
yes. And I'm so super glad you just rolled right with me. When I first said that, you just rolled right with me. I'm like, fuck yeah, she gets it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yep.
Balls on
And so, but yeah, is there anything before we let the family go? Is there anything you want to, whether it be website, social media, anything like that? And like I said, I know you're going to send me links and all that's going to be in there, but if there's anything you
the yeah.
want to talk about, I wanted to give you like the floor is yours, Jack.
Yeah. I guess I post most of what I'm up to on my Instagram, which is just actress Jackie Kelly. You can keep up to date with all my stuff there. All of my whole resume is on IMDb. Yeah, I mean, I don't really do like Twitter and TikTok and stuff. So if you wanna see what I'm up to, I'd head to Instagram. Actress Jackie Kelly. That's all I've got. I
Hey,
don't have anything else to plug.
hey, around here, we like simple around here. It makes it easy for us.
There you go.
Simple as easy, and because with this little shit show here that people laugh at me when I call it a shit show. It's just me. It's just I'm
Mhm.
simple. I'm not, and so when I talk about it, like, yeah, we have a Instagram, we have an X, we have Facebook, and TikTok. No, we have it, but you know, for me, I'm like you. I spend most of my time on Instagram if I'm scrolling. You know, Facebook's for the friends. You know, that's
Right.
you know, they get to see my fucked up memes and wonder what the
Right.
fuck's wrong with me. You know, and you know, Instagram to me is the more I just like that one more. It's easier. I enjoy it more. And you know, and that's where like even earlier today I came across yours. You gave us the latest update on Hag, you know. And I'm super excited about that one. Like super, super excited. Can't wait. But on here, family, we have been honored. Everybody right now, family, you all know the deal. If you're listening to this show, you little fuckers, we all been drinking. I need you all to pick up a glass right now. We toasting to the Jackie fucking Kelly for coming on this fucking show. And
I appreciate you having me.
hey, no, this is a this door's always open. If you got something coming up, you know,
Okay.
yeah, if
Something to
this
plug? Cool.
yeah, this I don't want this to be like, and I like I told when I had Trevor on, I've had Bill on, you know, I've had, you know, and I always, to me, it's just like anytime I could bring somebody on here and get to have them talk about something they're working on, or you know, people just want to come in here and talk some shit about horror movies with me, I'm cool with it. And so you always got a seat at this table, Jackie Kelly.
Amazing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, to come hang out with the fucked up family. And but yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I tell everybody out there right now, if you can go to Tubi and there's movies out there with Jackie Kelly in them, go check them out, go watch them. Don't get caught up in the fact that, you know, social media is not talking about it, or it's not a fucking trailer on the TV, whatever. Go dig into your independent horrors. You are missing out if you're not getting into these movies and looking into the work that goes into them and the love that goes into them, and go check them out. Don't overlook independents, people. That's why on this show we will always show love to independent horror. And if you don't like that, then go fuck right off, people. And that's the way I talk to my family. They know that that's the way we talk around here, Jackie. It's okay. You know, you could have said the same thing. You could just be like, go fuck right off, people.
Yeah. Go fuck right off.
There you go. See, automatically she's part of the Fright Flick fucked up family.
That's right.
And but yeah, it has been a pleasure to have you on here, and I'm hoping that we can do it again, whether it be if you got some new to talk about, if you just want to come on here and you know, if you find out I'm going to be talking about one of your movies, there may be a chance to invite you on here to talk about it. Like, you know, we have in memory of lined up.
Cool. Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah. And if you want to come on here and, you know, give us, you know, I'll rate it. I know it's sometimes different. You know, maybe you don't rate your own movie type thing, you know, but it's okay.
Yeah, I probably won't rate my own movie.
No, it's all it's all good. It's just, it'd be cool to hear about it. You know, a lot of stuff in it. But
I love it.
And yeah, family, that is going to be it for this very, very special episode of Fright Flick Fuck, Marry, Kill. And I appreciate everybody listening into this show. I appreciate everybody's support. I'm not going to waste people's time on housekeeping stuff because this episode's all about Jackie Kelly. We're not wasting your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yes, and I definitely appreciate you all listening to us. Appreciate you coming on here. And until next time, family, this is that part of the episode where I need everybody to reach over and grab your drinks. I need you to put your chairs away, and I need y'all to get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Mountains!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
That man's got Mars!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans. Nice community. It's us.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.